What is up? What is up? What is up, awesome people of the internet? Hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Guys, we got quite a bit to talk about today. We are going to first kick off the show with a discussion about social media and how WNBA teams used social media over the last week or so, and how the WNBA has used social media, and some tips for the WNBA going forward. Also, we're gonna talk about what I am dubbing Shoegate. Lots of folks were having conversations after it was announced that Caitlin Clark was going to get a shoe deal with Nike, and there was conversation about Asia Wilson and Nike as a whole, and supporting WNBA players with their own shoe deals, all that good stuff. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to give you a history about shoe deals with WNBA players. All right, so look forward to that. But first, we got a special guest in the building, y'all. Michael is in the building. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Quita. Hey, awesome people of the internet. Apologies. Thanks for having me back. I'm actually on the road this week. I'm in Houston, Texas, outside of my normal Midwest hub. Um, uh, Quita knows, but a lot of you don't. My love for sports goes beyond basketball. I'm actually a nationally certified umpire for USA softball. I got my hat
Beep,
right
beep,
here, and I'm
beep.
umpiring a tournament this weekend, and a big tournament here in Houston. So forgive the setting. I'm in an Airbnb right now.
Y'all, Michael is true to this when it comes to women's sports. It's not just women's basketball. Michael is true to this. But lots of people are saying, "What up, Michael?" in the chat.
Oh, awesome. Hey, everybody.
So this is not going to be a hot take of the week. This is a talk that talks. So it's not really a hot take that Michael has. However, it is a opinion that has been talked about by a lot of people, and Michael's going to just sort of talk about social media. So Michael, kick it away, man.
Yeah, no, thanks. So first, I'm gonna throw out one disclaimer. I realize that I am a white guy talking on the internet about a league run by women, supporting women. So I realize that space that I'm in. So please know that what I'm going to talk about and share really comes as a fan and a lover of the game, and really comes from the lens of like just wanting the league to capitalize on these eyeballs that are on the game right now. This is not some angry person on the internet telling the WNBA all the ways they did it wrong, right? It's just truly constructive criticism. But before we get into that, really, there were some WNBA teams that crushed it, I think, this week. And so Quita's about some of these that we're going to show here. She's mentioned them throughout the week, but I want to call special attention to them. The three teams I think had some really notable social media examples were the Fever. Okay, obviously it's easy, pretty easy when you got the number one pick, right? And you have the next superstar of the league, but also the Sky and the Sparks. Again, I don't want any fans of other WNBA teams out there to not feel the love. I realize that the Fever, Sky, and Sparks had five of the top seven picks, which meant they were going to get the best names, and therefore they had a natural advantage to what they could put out on social media, right? So we get that, but I want to give them their flowers a little bit and talk. So first, the Fever, if you're a Caitlin Clark fan or a WNBA fan, or you've been following any of their stuff, man, they did it in every channel, multiple mediums. My favorite that Quita already touched on was this like animated, illustrated video of an action figure, right? One, I don't think they should have made this without that action figure sellable on their website, because that would have brought in a
Agree.
lot more money.
Agree.
Um, Yeah, but I appreciate the effort that they put into it. This is cool. Like, again, I hated playing Caitlin Clark in college. As a fan of the game, I love this. I would have bought that action figure to put on my wall, like behind me, right? Like that would be really cool. So, but I thought they did a great job. Next, man, I thought the Sky. They did some really cool stuff this week. The first is like it's kind of like if you follow any of the accounts nationally on social media that get a lot of attention. Like Wendy's is known for having like a really sharp biting tongue and they go after other brands. And like I thought the Sky dipped into that a little bit here. It was like, hey, I guess practice is going to be fun, with Camilla and Angel. Like lean into it, right? All the fans were thinking it like whose hair is going to get pulled first because that's all they did in that CC championship, right? Like that's fun. Lean into it. And the girls loved it. They hyped it up. They both actually shared this on their socials. So like it's fun. I thought the Sky did a really good job. Also thought the Sky, again, Quita showed it this week. Their rollout for their Rebel jersey that looked like cheesy prom and wedding photos. Like just lean into it. Have fun on the internet. I thought they did a really good job there. And then lastly, the Sparks, LA, just like the Lakers, we always know who's sitting courtside at the Lakers game. The Sparks have all the stars, but they leaned into that, getting to watch like Leslie Jones and Cheryl Miller, along with their like current players like Zaya Cook and others, like just have absolute enthusiasm. You can see the joy in their face, right? When they are announcing Cameron and Rakia Jackson. I thought they did a really good job with that. And then there's one more video I sent Quita that's Leslie Jones. Like this one, I thought this was great because one, she's a fan of the game, but she got interviewed about what it's like to be an incoming player to the Sparks family, like how that community shows up, how they're going to support, what she loved about their picks. Great, right? Lean into who your fans, who your stars are, because people, again, who may be Leslie Jones fans, but not Sparks fans, they might have watched that video. So I thought the Sparks, Sky, and Fever did really great jobs across social media this week. But in their success, I think it highlights some things that maybe the W could have done a little bit better. So I've got 5 quick points. Quita has alluded to she works in the marketing field. I do as well, and we have some thoughts, don't we, Quita?
Yeah, absolutely. Always room for improvement. That's for sure.
Yeah. And if I missed, because again, I thought those 3 teams stood out. If there are teams out there that you really loved what they did, I thought what the Lynx did for Alyssa Peely was really cool in some ways. But if there's some that you're like, hey, this should have made that list of cool stuff, throw it out there. Let us know. Quita can share it out. But here are 5 things that if I worked as the chief marketing officer for the WNBA, these are the questions I would have had for my team. Okay. The first is the Caitlin Clark effect is real, right? We know that. We knew what eyeballs were going to be on that game, on the national. I'm talking about the college national championship game. So I'm going to go back to April 7th for just one day. Man, the W missed the mark that day. So we knew Caitlin Clark was going to bring the numbers. South Carolina would also bring numbers just because of its fan base. And even if Caitlin hadn't made it, it'd have been LSU or UConn or USC. It still wouldn't have been as huge, but there were going to be 10 plus million eyeballs on this game. The WNBA posted 4 times on social media that day. 4. They should be doing more than that every day anyway. But some things that I think that could have gone down on National Championship Day that really would have stood out. How many of you know the Aces are playing the Puerto Rican national team in Colombia at Colonial Life Arena on South Carolina campus on May 11th? That game could have been April 7th, right after the national championship, right? Capitalize on all those eyeballs or something like that, right? Another idea that I had was putting together like a WNBA, they had to get paid. I know injuries. There's a lot to work through, but do an all-star game for alums in the league of like Sweet 16 teams, right? Or or any tournament team, right? Just do like a East West All Star game that could have aired after, or a short something even during halftime. I just think there was a lot of missed opportunities on eyeballs that we knew were going to be on ESPN that day, all day. Um, that the W just didn't get a lot of coverage, or
Mm-hmm.
try to get coverage. So that's point one. Point two is the draft itself. I have some thoughts here. The pre show, and I mean, some of this is not all on the W. This has got to do with ESPN and whatever. But as a fan of the game, I felt really let down by the pre-show, where like Carolyn Peck and Andrea Carter at this like bootleg table in the middle of a hotel with fire emoji signs on popsicle sticks, and the first thing they're talking about is everybody's outfit. Right now, let us talk about that. Let the people of the internet, like these are shining moments for these girls, and like the first thing we're doing is throwing up popsicle. Like it just felt so cheap and hokey in a moment that could have been so much bigger. um but also, like, a lot of people aren't giant fans of Kathy Engelbert. She's a little dry. Okay, why did she announce every pick of the first round? Let me tell you what the Michael marketing team
You're
would
not a
have
fan
done.
of a Kathy, Michael?
No, no, no. Listen, I think as a leader, I think she's not bad for the job. I'm not sure she needs to be on TV making every pick.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
um, and so, like, for example, like I mean, following the chats here every week, you talk about like Dwayne Wade needs to get involved with the Sky, or Chance the Rapper. This, like, every pick in the first round should have been announced by an A-list celebrity from that city. It would have drawn eyeballs to the game. The second, a prime example, okay,
Yeah.
and it hurts to say this because an Atlanta Braves fan, for what it's worth, and we played Houston in the World Series a few years ago. How great of a job did MLB do in having Megan the Stallion as like the current pop or hip hop face of Houston? They used her everywhere to drum up excitement for the city and the
Mm-hmm.
team and the whatever. WNBA could have done that. Those stars would have come out. I mean, they're already posting stuff on social media. Give them a space to do it. So that's my second thing that I would have changed at the draft. Like, get the A-list stars involved. So again, we can keep those eyeballs on the game. The third thing
Oh wait,
is
before you go on
not
to
to
the
get
third thing,
okay.
before you go,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
we got JB says not Kathy catching strays on a Friday hangout. Sheesh, my God, Michael not playing.
Listen, JP. Okay, Kathy's great. Kathy really is great. She's a little bland, just a little bland for the first. I mean, and we don't have to look far. I get it. The commissioners, they work hard to get to these roles, but even in the NFL, like, Roger Goodell is going to do like a pick or two, and then it's going to be like stars from other teams or community, like like good works community members. Like, I just saw like Cleveland, the pick they're doing is the current. It's a player and a member of the Trevor Project, because the players identifies as gay, and so like that's a spotlight to say, hey, we're doing something and welcoming. Roger Goodell doesn't need to make that pick. Kathy Engelbert didn't need to make all a million announcements that she did either. Cash in on it.
All right, go on with your third pick. I just want to
Okay,
call that out.
I know. So the third one, and I'll keep this one brief, not to get too nerdy, but I'm curious for those of you out there who watched the draft on Monday. Did anyone get any paid social on, whether it was on your social media outlets or even commercials on the TV while you were watching, like that were promoting the purchase of the league pass? Like, I know that there have been some media rights, like they probably couldn't advertise directly on ESPN for another platform, but they could have been running paid social on that all day, encouraging you to buy a very affordable product that they offer. The second one is another big thing, and you have all these eyeballs. Like they could have gone. Like one of the things I would have encouraged like a marketing team to do is to do like what we call in the business user generated content. Get the fans to generate the content and the buzz for you. They could have done like a rep your team with a hashtag or something where like you got entered in to win an all expenses paid trip to Phoenix for the All-Star game this year. Like that's at no cost hardly to the league in the grand scheme of things, but they would have gotten tens of thousands of posts on social media turning the spotlight to them, and they just missed the mark. There was no way to engage with the league social media on that day, and I just thought they really missed it. Um, I mean, prime example, and Quita already shared this number. We know there were what 2.5 million people who watched the draft. The first three games of the WNBA finals last year combined wasn't even 2 million people average viewership. So in this one night, you had to put all your cards on the table, like all in, gotta go.
And
And
they didn't
they
do it.
didn't go. They,
Yeah.
they didn't go. Um, okay. Number four. Now this is a personal bone to pick too, but it's a marketing thing. Girl, I'm gonna get on. I know you're gonna talk about Shoegate. I'm gonna talk about apparel for a quick second too. These Rebel jersey the rollout. I'm not talking about the jerseys themselves. Love. Already bought some. The rollout was horrible. Okay. One, here's what happened. Let me give you a little brief timeline. Now, this is specific to being a Sky fan. This is no team's fault. Nike and the WNBA controlled the release of all this, so this is not a team thing, okay? But Monday night, Camilla and Angel Reese get drafted, right? Jerseys are not on sale on Monday night on their website. Tuesday morning, they were, but only in the black and like sky blue
Right.
colorway jersey. And I bought them, right? Cool, great. You know, at that point, sure, those two, they both had the same number. They'd figured it out, but they could have pre sold them Monday night without numbers on them. Nobody cares. Like, if you love Angel Reese, you're buying that jersey, whether she's 5, 10, or 500. Okay. Um, but then all the fans of these teams, Caitlin Clark jerseys, even though they got Rebel jerseys last year, they're sold out on Monday night because there is no 22 and they were able to sell them. Sky selling all these jerseys. And then we get on Wednesday the rollout of the Rebel jerseys for the 5 or 6 teams that are getting them this year. And the thing is, any of you who work in marketing or transactions or business, people don't do multiple transactions. You needed to get all that in one card entry on Monday night, right? And it would have been a great opportunity for the apparel and the manufacturers, like roll that out on Monday, cash in on the hype and the eyeballs. Again, they needed to go all in on Monday, and I think rolling out those Rebel jerseys on Wednesday, honestly, the people who were really engaged were the people who would have been regardless. You needed to capitalize on the Monday night of the draft, in my opinion. And then the last one, man, maybe this is just me. I don't feel like the W used its stars very well over this last week. Again, the talk your talk. The teams did pretty good, right? You know,
Yeah.
some of them had people at the draft. Others had their players, you know, in the arenas. You know, getting to see those live reactions of like the Fever girls, like when Caitlin was announced, like that's fun. But use your stars on the night of. I love Holly Rowe. I would have loved to have some of the actual like either current players or like recently retired, like people that know the game and have a little bit of that like A-list celebrity status to them, do some of those interviews or what it's like to get drafted, or let Holly do her thing and then have them in, you know, some of the WNBA stars actually in the press room asking them questions. Like, I mean, we all know Diana Taurasi has wrinkled enough feathers. How funny would it have been to have her in a in the press room going, yeah, I got a question for Angel. You know what I mean? Like, cash in on the stars of this game, and they didn't do it, Quita. They let me down. So, um, you know, as we, the disclaimer was this is all for a love and a passion of the game. But if this was Michael's marketing team over at the WNBA, those are some of the things that we would have been a little more proactive on over the last couple of weeks, to really, really, really capitalize on the eyes that have been on the game and these events.
Yeah, one, as a marketing person, I do tend to agree with quite a few of your points. Just to expound on that a little bit more, like I do believe, like, the WNBA, I gave them props a couple of days ago. Like, they have improved absolutely year
Yeah, oh
over
yeah,
year, and they're doing stuff better. But you're right about the idea that we should have pop. I always say we, like I'm like a part of the WNBA, but I'm not. Like,
yeah,
there should have been um, a chance where we saw the number one pick at a previous WNBA draft. It could be Diana Taurasi. It could be, I don't know, just pick somebody where they are introducing the number one pick. So yeah, sure, I'm cool with the idea of the celebrity thing. That's cool. But
yeah,
as like a way to just sort of point to the history of the WNBA, I think it could have been cool to either they introduce the number one pick, or like you said, in terms of like the interview, the post draft interview that all the players did. It,
yeah,
as a fan of the game, I listened to them all because I wanted to hear what these players were saying, but it was dry. It was boring. It was
yeah,
reporters asking
yeah,
questions of the stars, and I think the only really fun part was when Camilla was like, "Yeah, they're not getting any rebounds on us." But
yeah,
beyond that, it was kind of dry. So I am imagining in my head Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, Asia Wilson, been like, question for you, and give me a
yeah,
question.
yeah,
Like,
right.
it would have been cool if some of the teammates of those players, like,
Uh-huh.
when the Sky drafted Camilla and Angel Reese, like, could we have had Diamond DeShields there asking a question? That could have been fun. That could have been really, really fun
Yeah,
for the game. It made it a little bit more entertaining and not as dry. I mean, again, I'm going to watch regardless, but I think that just helps
right.
more people find it. Also, the idea
Yeah,
of paid social, you are absolutely right. Missed opportunity. Like, I do paid social a lot in my job,
yeah,
and
same.
that is
Yeah,
an excellent way to get a particular message across. Yes, the WNBA was trending all on social on Monday. It was.
yeah,
But most people who watched that draft probably don't even know about League Pass. Probably don't even know
right.
about the fact that, yeah, they know the WNBA is about to start soon, but they don't necessarily know, okay, here's the place to go to get your tickets. Here's some of the big games. Like, they didn't know a lot of
Well,
stuff.
and
So, missed
I mean,
opportunity.
to that point, yeah, like a lot of the folks here, like, I mean, we're all a family and we support each other, but there are a lot of people in the chat that often ask, like, oh crap, yeah, how do I even get League Pass? Like, where do I go? So, like, it's not, people don't know the answer, right? And if the WNBA wants the eyeballs on
Mm-hmm.
stuff long term, they're going to have to be proactive. We all know there, it's the old economic saying, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? Like, you got to spend a little to make a little, right? And that's where they really kind of needed to invest, I think, for sure.
Yeah, we got pro fan talk that said didn't hear about League Pass until yesterday on Twitter. See, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a thing. Like, it,
Big miss.
anybody who watched uh should know about League Pass. And yes, sure, it is on ESPN. Absolutely, ESPN is doing it. They have their crew there and whatnot. But the WNBA, when they're making their agreements, they can put on there, hey, we're giving you the exclusive rights to the draft. You must cover these specific things for the WNBA.
Yep.
And League Pass needs to be one of those.
Absolutely.
We saw it during the NCAA tournament that was exclusively on ESPN for the women, or ESPN networks for the women. But in the contract, they had to mention the fact that the men's tournament was going on and it was on another network. They had to mention that because it's in the contract. So it's important that it's not just like a afterthought of, oh crap, we should have added that in there. In the contract, you are able to stipulate, hey, in order for us to give you exclusive rights, you must do this, 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 and this. And the WNBA didn't do that. And that's why people don't even know. 2.5 million plus people who watch the draft don't even know about League Pass. They don't even know how affordable it is, and don't even know the fact that if you buy season tickets, you get League Pass for free.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff that you should be saying to the casual fan to get them to be like, oh, I didn't know about that. Okay, well, here's my money, because it's not that expensive. So I completely agree with you. There should have been some paid social there, or you should have just put it in the contract. So
yeah. And again, not to, I'm a sucker for this. So like I take all my money, because I do feel like this week alone, I've probably spent almost $1,000 on jerseys and apparel, but I'm aware all of it. I'll tell you that. But like, even when League Pass for 2024 came out, there are ways to like upsell and market that in. Okay, so League Pass is $35, but for $75, you get like a limited edition All-Star jersey or something. Like there are just ways. Because it's not just about selling a jersey, because that at $40, there's not a lot of margin on that. But that's something that, again, people would wear. They would generate their own content and just continue to drive eyeballs to the game. At this point, Quita, we need to start like a change.org petition for the WNBA just to hire us on the marketing team.
Hey,
man,
and
it's all
ideas.
from a love. Yeah, it's really for a love of the game. But yeah.
Oh, JB's talking about it already. Says the WNBA marketing needs an overhaul. Get Quita and Michael in there. The awesome people of the internet will get the petitions going. Oh man, yeah. So here's the thing. Like, and Michael mentioned it earlier. We love the WNBA. We want the WNBA to grow. We want fans to continue to flock to the WNBA, and that's the reason why we're saying what we're saying. It's not because we want to dunk on anybody or anything like that. No, like we freaking love the WNBA, and there's opportunities. There's easy wins that the WNBA could be getting right now. Yes, this is a lot better than what it used to be. So absolutely we can celebrate that, but there's more progress that needs to be made on the front of the WNBA growing, because we saw a historic last 2 seasons for the NCAA for women's basketball. Historic.
Yeah.
Numbers through the roof. And you don't want it to sort of fall off a cliff in terms of engagement, in terms of excitement in the WNBA. We had 2.5 or so million people on average watch on Monday. Yep. There was an opportunity to ensure that when you started off the first game of the season, you wanted to have that plus more. The only way to do that is if you let the people know who are watching, hey, here's what to watch. Here's League Pass. Here is ways that you can engage in fandom right now. Here's some fan groups in local cities that you need to tap into. Like, make people feel a part. And that didn't happen. So
I think, I mean, this is a little bit of a tangent, but I think, look, it's really good for the game. To Quita's point, like we, I want to get to a place where, we talked about it yesterday, where the Mystics have to move out of their stadium and do every game, at the Xfinity Center, okay, or is it Capital One? I can't remember. It changed, but anyway, where I'm going is what irritates me about that is, didn't nobody see this coming? Like, we've been talking
Mm,
about Caitlin Clark and viewership numbers and Angel Reese and South Carolina's dominance and LSU's growth and Juju and Hannah and everybody. Oh, we gotta move stadiums this week. Or, oh crap, we sold out of jerseys in 24 hours. That's unacceptable. All the data points proved that what's
mm-hmm.
gone down this week was going to happen. So, if anything, I'll actually say all the critiques we've made, Quita, maybe it's good the W wasn't on their game a little more because it would have been like glaringly obvious how unprepared they were for some of this, right? Like, I mean, even it wasn't even until yesterday. Now, good job by the Dream Atlanta, doing some paid social because I don't live near Atlanta, but I've been getting all their paid ads this week for, hey, our big three games: Liberty, Sky,
Mm-hmm.
and Fever. We got to do X, Y, and Z. But that can't be on the teams. The reason that all these teams are in parent governing organizations is because there has to be an overarching strategy and a way to have all the teams easily still have their own voice and identity, but capitalize on the framework that the league has laid out. And again, they've done a really great job. We just think it could have been a smidge better.
Yeah. I got one more thing to say. One thing
Yep,
that
go
I
ahead.
I would say I disagree with you on in this one. So
Yeah.
the jersey rollout. So I actually think that this was a strategic move by the WNBA. It was a
Okay.
strategic move to put the jerseys on sale for the people who got drafted. The well, Fever did it the same day. Uh, uh, Other teams did it usually that Tuesday morning. Um,
Yep.
have those fans buy those jerseys, and then 2 days later announce new jerseys and get those same fans to buy another jersey. I think it was a way for the WNBA to get a twofer. To give people
Yeah.
only one option initially, and then to be like, but wait, there's more. And
Uh-huh.
get them to buy. So I actually thought I thought it was a strategy. I really did. Like when I was like, that's why
So,
that's why I actually didn't buy it initially because I knew that was going to
because
happen.
you
That's
knew
why
it was
that's why
coming.
that's why I
Same
didn't
thing.
buy it. Like because I if
So,
if I was doing a strategy, I would have did the same thing personally. So that's why I didn't. That's why I
yeah.
waited.
So it's funny when I was talking through my points with a friend earlier this week, and I thought the same thing. Right? I was like, if this is an intentional marketing strategy, it still could have been better. And here's my take on that. So, prime example, I bought stuff on Monday night, like hats and stuff before like the Camilla and Angel jerseys came out on Tuesday. On Wednesday, when the color or the Rebel jerseys came out, I didn't get any marketing emails for them. I only saw it on social, and that's because I follow the team. So even if it was the strategy, they should have blitzed everybody that bought Monday and Tuesday
mm,
from those team shops and
yeah.
said, hey, here it is. I still haven't gotten an email from Sky Shop about the Rebel jerseys. I've only seen it on social. So agreed. I thought the same thing. Like, hey, this if this is intentional, cool. Still, like, could have been better. And two, the other thing is, I wonder how many, like, we'll never know the insider info. Like, the people who bought Caitlin Clark jerseys, they were going to buy those whether it was Monday night or Tuesday or in 3 months from now, right?
Yeah.
The people who to your point, when I went in on Tuesday and saw that the Camilla and Angel jerseys were only available in one of the colorways, I said, something's coming. And I'm a lover of the game, so they were gonna get my money twice, fine. But are there still people that, if because they weren't on sale on Monday, will never ever buy one at all? Like what the balance is? But I'm with you. It totally made sense as a separate strategy, but I still would have amped it up too. You know?
And I completely agree with you on that. Yeah, yeah. Yes, there was more that they could have done to hype up that Rebel jersey release, because I think you're right. I don't think I got an email from the Sky about
No.
the new jerseys. I don't think I
And
got an email. Huh.
as someone who works in marketing, I literally went, I was like going through spam folders. I'm like, just because, this is a professional interest for me. And so I'm nerdy in that way. And I'm like, ooh, I wonder what they did. Because again, the online social marketing was pretty good for the
Mm-hmm.
Rebel jerseys, but no email, no nothing. But yeah, either way, they did get the two transactions out of me. I'm excited. The first ones, I'm mad that I'm in Houston this weekend, Quita. My partner is at home. The first jerseys will show up in Michigan on Saturday, and I won't be there to get it and
Nice.
wear it. But the Rebel jerseys, I think those are they got a longer runway for production on them. I don't even think I have an anticipated send date on those yet.
Yeah, when I ordered it, it didn't give me a timeline for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
new Rebel jerseys. So yeah, I got myself a Angel Reese jersey, and
yeah.
my mama got a Camila Cardoso jersey. So we
I'm
gonna be
so
rocking.
excited.
We
Hey, what first home game is May 25th, right?
I don't remember.
First home game. I think it is. I
Okay.
think
I know I'm gonna be
I'm
there.
pretty sure it's Sunday the 25th. I know this. As I was gonna say, I will be there in my jersey and a hat, ready to rock out.
Oh,
So,
you'll be there. You'll
yeah,
be.
girl, I'm not miss.
Oh.
Listen, do you think? I mean, so for again
Okay,
those people that don't
okay.
know,
Michael
I'm only
traveling to
a.
Chicago. Okay.
It's only it's an hour and a half train ride for me, straight on Amtrak.
Sweet, dude. Okay, so yeah,
So
May 25th, the Sky are playing the Connecticut Sun at Wintrust Arena. Okay, so we need to do a in arena meetup, maybe a halftime or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So guys, if y'all plan on being there as well for that home opener for the Chicago Sky, hit me up. We gonna do a in arena meeting for sure.
And see, and I'm always good for pregame mimosas as well. So if anybody's about that brunch life on Sunday, I'm here for
Oh,
it.
you'll be there in the morning. You'll be there in the
Oh
morning.
yeah. Oh no, we're coming down for the weekend. Yeah. Well,
Oh.
Oh, we're all in, Quita, all in.
All right. Well, let's. I'll connect with you on Patreon. We can probably
Yeah, yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
together earlier for sure. Um, let's see. Lil says the NBA has a blueprint for merchandising. They should consult the WNBA. Yeah, yeah. I don't see the NBA selling out of jerseys. I don't. So they can talk to the WNBA about some stuff for sure, and I'm sure they do. But yeah, there should maybe there's more of a concerted effort to learn from the NBA. But yeah, I would say, Kentucky Lucky says I liked the Sky official page and no ads from them. Same with the Fever, but the Aces I am getting ads from. What does that say?
Yeah.
Well, Mark Davis is
Hey, it
investing,
tells you that,
and
yeah, they've all got different marketing teams. I mean, that's the thing. And, sure, it's a competitive world, even them all being in the league, right? You know, some of them are market and work harder and better and do all that. And, you see it in your fan experience. And so that's a really interesting point.
all right. Well, that was marketing 101. with Michael.
Marketing 101 for our love of this sport. Again, for those that missed the disclaimer, I'll end with it too. I realize that I am a white guy on the internet talking about a league run predominantly by women for the uplifting of a women's game, but it's said out of true passion for seeing it continue to grow. So,
All right, y'all. That was Michael, aka wait, what's your YouTube handle? What is your
well, it's repeat tour right now until Raven gives us a new moniker to go by, which I don't think it is. I mean, it's been dubbed the repeat tour, so that's what we're gonna roll with for now.
All right, wait, Michael, once again, you have hit it out the park with your Friday take.
Oh.
So I think people feeling a little intimidated. They
No, wait,
not
here's the deal.
volunteering
I'll tell you
to
this.
do it.
No, y'all need to do this because I am not. I do not have a channel. I get passionate about this, which probably gets me through my nerves. But trust me, I'm a nervous wreck too. Quita makes this look easy, but it actually really is. Like it's like talking to a friend about something you care about. So join Patreon. I'll say it. This is my channel, but I'll plug it for Quita. Join Patreon. Get in there. Let's chat, and then get on here and talk your talk.
Bam! There we go. That's Michael, aka Revenge Tour. Killing it, killing it, killing it. Thank you again, Michael, so much for
No, thank
rocking
you.
with
Thanks for
us
having
on
me.
a Friday hangout. I keep saying we. I will see you in person for the Chicago Sky home opener on the 25th.
Yeah.
Carmela says, "Have a good day, Michael."
Hey,
What up, Carmela?
Carmela. Carmela with two L's, y'all. Make sure you put respect on that double L in her name.
Respect.
But yeah, we'll see y'all in Chicago, hopefully, for that first home game. But thanks for having me on again, Quita. I'm gonna go get ready. I'll be in the comments, but I'm gonna go get ready for this softball tournament this weekend. So,
Nice. Have a great time officiating.
all right, we'll do. Talk to you later.
All right, bye. All right,
Bye.
guys. That was Michael killing it again. Michael does a great job, sort of talking through his points. And guys, this could be you too. You can also join for a Friday hangout. And have the opportunity to talk your talk, or if you have a hot take to give, you can do your hot take of the week as well. So yeah, lots of opportunities for you to tap in if you are a Patreon member. Now, guys, we are going to move into a part of the segment where we're actually going to talk about shoe deals. So I'm not sure if you all are totally aware of what's going on, but there's been a lot of conversation about WNBA shoe deals, a lot of conversation in the last several days, and I do want to just do sort of a level set and let everybody know kind of what's going on, and sort of talk about a little bit of history about shoes and the WNBA and the different deals that players have had before. But before we do that, I would love to ask you all to please hit that like button. That would be fantastic if you all could hit that like button. It really, really helps the channel and helps more people find out about what's happening. So yeah, please, please, please hit that like button. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about shoe deals. We're gonna talk about Asia and Caitlin Clark. So this whole thing started, I believe this week. This whole thing started when it was announced that Caitlin Clark was signing a 8-figure endorsement deal with Nike. And that deal includes her own signature shoe. Now, I haven't seen a super, super firm number, but it is an 8-figure deal. All right. And that has led people to have thoughts about this. People having thoughts about, you know, how did Caitlin Clark just get a endorsement or get a shoe deal, getting her own signature shoe, and she just, you know, hasn't even played a game in the WNBA, and then talking about some of the other players who are with Nike and don't have a deal, most notably A'ja Wilson. And so that just sort of led to a whole thing. BJ says, I'm trying so hard to find out Nika's new number in Seattle. I actually don't know Nika's new number in Seattle. But I can try to find it. I'll try to find it, and maybe I'll have it before the end of the stream. But I'm not sure, BJ. Does anyone know, any Seattle fans in the chat? If you know, please help BJ out. I am not sure, BJ. All right, so yeah, we're talking about what I'm dubbing Shoegate, because yeah, it was a whole thing. Once it was announced about the shoe deal, social media went crazy. I saw A'ja Wilson sort of trending on social media, most notably Twitter. And yeah, there was a lot of thoughts about why hasn't A'ja Wilson got a shoe deal when, you know, she is all of these accolades, right? You know, she posted on X. She said, "Always remember what is delayed is not denied." You know, she's taken it in stride. The fact that you know, folks are talking about her not having a deal, and Caitlin Clark is getting a 8-figure deal. So that just made me think, okay, I should probably do a 101 about, not even a 101, a history lesson about shoe deals in the WNBA, and talk about some of the players in WNBA past and WNBA present who have had shoe deals, and also talk about my take on Nike and why A'ja Wilson hasn't gotten a deal, and if a deal may be coming soon. So that's what we're gonna do in today's stream. So I hope y'all are down for that. But while, hold on, I got lots of slides I want to go through, because this is gonna be a show and tell. So let me get my slides all together. But while I am doing that, if y'all could please hit that like button, that would be absolutely fantastic. Really does help out the channel a lot. Guys, we are going to be showing visuals of all of the various shoe deals that have happened in the WNBA, so y'all can see the shoes themselves. And we're going to talk about the players who have had shoe deals. All right. Let's see. Honestly, it's said, I think people are not hating on Clark, but they're just saying the obvious. But the media is spinning it because they know it's bad optics. Yeah, I do agree with you there. Yeah, I'm not seeing people mad at Caitlin Clark. If people are mad at Caitlin Clark about her new deal, maybe they exist. I have not seen it. I would agree with honestly here, because yeah, I haven't seen people upset at her. It's just people who are talking about like the discrepancy, and how A'ja Wilson has won just about every award there is to win, really, when it comes to the WNBA, and you know, has her own statue, you know, and has a huge fan base itself, you know, best-selling author, you know, I'm gonna go when we get to that section at the end. I'm actually gonna go through all the various stats of A'ja Wilson, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to talk about when it comes to A'ja Wilson because she has accomplished just about everything there is to do as a human on this earth and as a women's basketball player. All right, so we're gonna get into it. Okay, so I think I am all ready to go. All right, now this is your history lesson down in the history books for WNBA shoes. Okay, so when we talk about the WNBA and shoe deals, we're talking about 9 people who have had shoe deals in the WNBA. Actually, a little bit more than 9 players who've had shoe deals. We're gonna go through the whole list. We have seen when the WNBA first started, we've seen some players with shoe deals that may actually surprise y'all. And then we have some current players who have shoe deals. All right, so let's get started with the history of shoe deals in the WNBA. So this all basically starts in 1995 when Air Swoopes got the first shoe deal ever for a women's basketball player. She had her shoe. It was called the Nike Air Swoopes. She had that shoe from 1995 to 2002. And again, it was with Nike. That release of her shoe was actually before the WNBA started. But it was after a fantastic career for Air Swoopes in NCAA. She played at Texas Tech. She won the national championship with her team. There was a lot of hype around her. And Nike was like, okay, we wanna get you a deal. She was interviewed later on, and she said, when Nike first approached me, they didn't come at me and say, hey, we want to give you your own shoe. It was more of a conversation surrounding basketball shoes. Back then, there were no women's basketball shoes. And she had conversations with Nike. She wanted to make a shoe that was right for her. She wanted it to be comfortable, not heavy like some of the men's shoes were at the time. She wanted it to have a good ankle support, and she wanted it to look good. So she talked to the Nike reps, and then Nike Air Swoopes were born. This was a shoe that lasted several years into 2002 when the last shoe was released. Air Swoopes is a trendsetter. She was the first in this instance, and I think there's a lot of people who don't even know that Air Swoopes had her own shoe, and the fact that her shoe lasted for as long as it did. And when Nike created that shoe, Nike Air Swoopes, people took notice, including other shoe brands, which includes the next shoe, which is Rebecca Lobo's shoe that she had with Reebok. So Nike started off with women's basketball shoes, with Air Swoopes, and Reebok is like, okay, we want to get in the women's basketball game. We want to get in the game. Rebecca Lobo, let's get you a shoe. She was actually told by her coach, Gino Auriemma, that Reebok was interested in signing her to a shoe deal. And it ended up happening. Rebecca Lobo was quoted as saying their first offer, meaning Reebok's first offer for her, wasn't a ton of money, but I said to my agent, it's enough for me to buy a used car. I've never owned a car before. So it wasn't like a huge deal in terms of monetary value for Rebecca Lobo's shoe deal with Reebok, but she got her own shoe. She got her own shoe. And it's kind of cool, you know? And they named it the Lobo. So guys, let me know in the chat if y'all have ever had one of these shoes before. Oh, BJ says, I had a pair of Lobos. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, BJ. And so let's continue down the history road talking about shoes. Next up came Lisa Leslie, who had the Nike Total Air 9. That was released in 1998. And again, with Nike, this was after the WNBA became a thing, and Lisa Leslie was a household name. And yeah, Nike was like, okay, we're gonna get you a shoe. One thing to note is that this was the shoe that Lisa Leslie had was the highest priced signature shoe of the 90s era for women models. It was priced at $140 when the shoe first came out. And again, it was called the Nike Total Air 9s. Get it? Air 9s. 9 was the number that Lisa Leslie had on her jersey. So that's why it was called the Air 9. And yeah, you know, it's kind of cool that Lisa Leslie got her own shoe. It didn't last for a very, very long time, but it was a pretty cool accomplishment. And let's kind of continue on in the history books, staying with Nike, and this time going to Dawn Staley. Did you know that Dawn Staley had her own shoe? Did you know that? Yeah. Dawn Staley had the Nike Zoom S5 and S2. That was released in 1998. And yeah, Dawn Staley had her own shoe. I mean, it makes me wonder, could Dawn Staley get another pair of shoe now? Because people would buy it. If Dawn Staley had her own shoe right now, people would buy it, I think. But yeah, one thing you'll know is that the shoe that Dawn Staley had a supportive strap, and it actually featured carbon fiber in the shoe, which is I don't think was that normal during that time. And here is what Dawn Staley had to say about her shoe. She said, I wanted a leather shoe that had a little shine to it, not too high or not too low, a good height where I could maneuver, but I couldn't have a lot of movement in my shoe. I needed that tightness. I got the most out of my game when I felt with that feel on my feet. So yeah, she had her own shoe. She said, I think my shoe was the flyest of them all. Some women's shoes look like women's shoes. I didn't think my shoes looked like a woman's shoe. It looked like a dude could really appreciate and wear it. So yeah. She also said the shoe was beautiful and Nike needs to bring them back. So so yeah. Didi in Tennessee says, I followed Dawn since 1996. Had no idea she had a shoe. Yeah. I didn't either, honestly, until I started doing this research. I didn't either. And so that's why I love this channel, man. So I'm able to learn so much stuff by like just researching it and then giving it to y'all. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Repeat Tour, aka Michael, is in the chat now. Michael says, if Dawn got a shoe now, it would be a collab with Gucci or Louis Vuitton. Yeah, it probably would be. It probably would be. Um. Oh yeah, she does have a. Is it OFOs or UFOs? Yeah, she does have a deal with them. Yep. I believe I saw some commercials. Was it last season? Um, was it last season during the NCAA tournament that I saw commercials for Don Staley promoting UFOs or OFOs, however you pronounce it. Guys, if y'all could hit that like button, that would be fantastic. All right, let's continue on with the history lesson. All right, so next up in the shoe game was Miss Cynthia Cooper. We're still on this Nike train. Nike really has been one of the biggest supporters when it's come to women's basketball and giving them deals. And so yeah, staying on the Nike train. We saw Cynthia Cooper get her own shoe in 1999. All right, it was called the Nike Air C14 or C14, which was again her jersey number. So it's a thing. It's a thing, right? You had Lisa Leslie with her jersey number as part of the name of the shoe, and you had Cynthia Cooper with her jersey number as part of the name of her shoe. And one thing to note is that the shoe deal that Nike had with Cynthia Cooper initially didn't include a shoe. She didn't have her own shoe initially. So she was actually, and also guys, I'm getting my reporting for this from anscape.com. Shout out to anscape.com. I will drop the link to the article in the comments below. But they're part of ESPN, and they do have some really great reporting as well. One of the other great reporting organizations when it comes to women's basketball. But yeah, anscape.com is where I'm largely getting a lot of this history lesson from. So shout out to them. I will drop the link to the article in the comments below after we are done. They actually report that Cynthia Cooper was actually asked about why she didn't have her own shoe in 1997. And she was like, currently I'm under contract with Nike, but I do not have my own shoe. Every basketball player has dreams of having his or her own shoe. Maybe, just maybe, I'll get my own shoe. And 2 years later, she gets her own shoe. All right, so she kind of spoke it into existence a little bit. She said, I feel like I played my way into a signature shoe from Nike. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Yeah, so that was Cynthia Cooper and her shoe that she had in 1999 called the Nike Air C14s. And they look pretty cool, don't they? I like I like the red and white. I like the red and white. It was, of course, connected to the jersey for the Houston Comets at the time, so that's kind of cool. Whoa, really? Gowdy says Cameron Brink's mom was the project manager for Don Staley's shoe. Wow. That's kind of amazing. Todd says, I might have to go grab a yearbook. I'm pretty sure a couple girls hooped in Don's shoe in high school. Oh, that's fire. That is fire. That is fire. All right, let's continue on to Nikki MCCRAY. She had her own shoe. I don't know if you all knew that. I didn't know that, honestly, until I started doing this research. that she had her own shoe. It was called it was with Fila. It was not with Nike. It was with Fila, and it was called the Fila Nikki Delta. Y'all like what they did there, Nikki Delta. I thought that was kind of cool. So her shoe came out in 1999, and yeah, I mean it's kind of cool that she had her own shoe. And again, I didn't know this until I started doing this. But yeah, Nikki sort of started a trend with Tennessee players for a hot second. So Nikki McCrae had a signature shoe. She was the first Tennessee Lady Vol who had her own shoe. And after that, she sort of started a trend, because after that you saw CHAMIQUE HOLDSCLAW and Candace Parker get their own shoe as well. So it's kind of like, 3 Tennessee Lady Vol players had a signature shoe. And that was kind of amazing. Absolutely kind of amazing. And yeah, absolutely rest in peace to Nikki McCrae Pinson. She did unfortunately pass away recently. But she really did have a phenomenal career as a player. She was, as a coach. And it was, cancer's a terrible thing. That's for sure. It is a terrible, terrible thing. But one of the things that was actually said is she was asked about it. She was asked about her shoe in the past, and she said that she remembered thousands of people wrapping around the block at the official launch of her shoe. And she had the event in Washington. And she met fans, she signed autographs, and people purchased the shoe. And she said it was little girls, it was families, it was little boys, and that's what it's all about. It's about the impact that gives little girls hope. Fantastic. Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. She said she wanted the shoe to be to fit her personality and have her flavor. She also said that her number was 15. So she had a 15 at the bottom of it. So every time you stepped, you saw the 15. And yeah, Nikki McCrae was phenomenal. And she had her own shoe with Fila. And guys, honestly, I didn't know that Fila had, I didn't know Fila made women's basketball shoes, but yeah, sort of doing this research, I realized that, they were in the shoe game for women's basketball. Let's continue on. And also, guys, if y'all are appreciating this, if y'all get that like button, that would be fantastic. Thank you. All right, continuing on, let's talk about another former Lady Vol in CHAMIQUE HOLDSCLAW. So CHAMIQUE HOLDSCLAW received her own signature shoe. You can see an image of the shoe right there. It was called the Nike Shox BB4 Mique and CHAMIQUE. I'm probably saying that wrong. MIQUE. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, so she did have her own shoe. And we talk about legends of the game. CHAMIQUE HOLDSCLAW is one of those legends. She was the golden child, right? She was a player that was going to take women's basketball to the next level, right? And after she graduated from college, after she graduated from Tennessee, Nike told her that they were giving her a signature shoe. They told her that they were also going to give her a apparel line, and they were going to put her in lots of commercials. And they did that. She said, in my opinion, out of all the shoes I've ever tried, the Swoopes shoe, I think Nike did an amazing job. I love that shoe. And then she got her own shoe. As you can see, there's a what looks like an H in the middle of the tongue. You'll see that sort of at the top middle of the tongue. And she wanted to have the H to sort of pay homage to her name. And sorry guys, I'm looking at my notes. I talked about before that there was $140 shoe, and then CHAMIQUE HOLDSCLAW, her shoe was even more expensive. It was $150. And guys, again, this is $150 in 2001 pricing. So that is a sizable amount of money, right? We talk about shoes and how, you know, shoes nowadays are actually very, very expensive. It used to be that they weren't as expensive. Now they are extremely expensive. And when we talk about women's basketball, you know, they were like, actually, you know, our shoes are really nice, so we're going to price them accordingly. You have men's shoes that cost you know, a lot of money. Well, we're going to make some women's shoes that also cost a lot of money. I personally am not the biggest of shoe person. Right now, I don't think I have really any name brand shoes. Besides, I do have some Filas. I do have a pair of Filas. But other than that, I don't think I have any name brand shoes at all. But if I was, I would for sure have been rocking some of these shoes for sure, because they look fire. And guys, let me know in the chat, have y'all ever heard of some of these shoes before? And if you have you purchased any of these shoes? Because I am personally very, very curious, because we're gonna get to a surprise shoe that I also did not know about at all. But yeah, all right. So let's continue on. Again, CHAMIQUE HOLDSCLAW had her own shoe in the past. Lauren says, I never bought any of their shoes. Well, I mean, that's okay. Shani says that CHAMIQUE HOLDSCLAW was one of the best players I ever saw play with my eyes. She was a legit walking bucket. Her game was sick. Yeah. She was very good. She was very, very good. All right, let's continue on, and let's talk about Diana Taurasi. Did y'all know Diana Taurasi had her own shoe? Well, she did. It was called the Nike Air Taurasi, and also she had a shoe called the Shox DT. Get it? DT, Diana Taurasi. The shoe was around from 2005 to 2006. And it was given right after she finished college. So Diana Taurasi graduated from UConn in 2004, drafted #1 to the WNBA with the Phoenix Mercury. And with that came a deal with Nike. She said, I left stores in 2004 and landed at the Nike campus. It was a huge presentation, and I was just in awe that my own shoe was going to happen. And she remembers saying, what do you want? She remembered them asking, what do you want your shoe to look like? So yeah, she designed her shoe from there. Guys, her shoe was on the more affordable side. It was only $95. Only, like $95 isn't a lot of money. It is. Her shoe was $95, and she had DT3 on the collar of the shoe, and she had her name on the shoe as well. Yeah, Diana Taurasi did have her own shoe for a hot second. CAC says, I have never heard of these shoes. I don't really buy sponsored shoes, just shoes to work out in that are comfortable for my feet. I think a lot of people do that. Do that for sure. All right, let's continue on and let's talk about Miss Candace Parker. So Candace had a shoe called she signed with Adidas. And is Adidas is I would say the most well known female player that is signed with Adidas. You see Candace everywhere rocking her Adidas. My Adidas. Dun, 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 dun. But anyway, she had the Adidas Ace Commander and Ace Versatility. That shoe came out in 2010. And she said your entire goal when you're out hooping in your front yard or when you go to the park is to have your own shoe. There are so many people that when I was growing up, I tell them I'm going to have my own shoe, and they would say, well, girls don't do that. Well, she did do that. She did do that because Candace Parker, that's what she do. Candace Parker is one of my favorite players ever. And I never got the shoe. I should have gotten it. But I didn't. But from afar, I looked at the shoe and I approved of the shoe. I thought it looked pretty cool. But the thing to note about Candace Parker is that she actually so that shoe came out fantastic. The Adidas, you may see the timeline on here and you're like 2011, but didn't I just see Candace Parker repping Adidas and some shoes at Adidas? Yeah, you did. So in 2021, Adidas released a colorway of one of their shoes. It's called the Exhibit A, and Candace Parker had her own custom colorways for that shoe, and that was sort of like her shoe, but I don't think technically that is her shoe. It's Candace Parker's version of an Adidas shoe. So if y'all see, like, if y'all go to like a Dick's Sporting Goods or like go to like someplace like that, you'll likely see that Candace Parker, her shoe on display at Adidas. It is a specific colorway and a specific type of Adidas shoe, and that was sort of put out there in 2021. But yeah, I remember actually going to Dick's Sporting Goods like a year ago, and seeing the shoe on display. But yeah, Candace Parker just continues to do her thing. She continues to do her thing, and she is one of the few current WNBA players who have a who had a signature shoe. And a shoe that you can actually go on Adidas website right now, and you can actually buy a Candace Parker shoe. Though technically it is not named after her. But yeah. YouTube says, is Sports Authority still around? I don't know. I know there used to be a Sports Authority by my house when I was younger, and we used to go there. I have no idea though. I don't know if it's still around. I know it's not in the Chicagoland area. because I haven't seen one in years. Officer Davis has a comment about marketing. Oh, I had a bottle of water somewhere. Oh well. I was looking for some more water. I guess I'll drink pop. Officer Davis says marketing really sucks. How is it that we didn't know about these shoes? Why is this? And they wonder why the league isn't doing good. I mean, yeah. Honestly, I didn't know about a lot of these shoes until I started doing research for this live stream. I mean, I knew about Candace Parker. I knew about Air Swoopes, right? But I didn't know about some of these other. I didn't know about some of these other players. All right, that brings us to Breanna Stewart. Breanna Stewart is one of the current players with a signature shoe that is still in production. So it's called the Puma Stewies. And again, it's with Puma. That's where she signed. If you all remember, actually, if you all actually remember, Breanna Stewart went over to Puma because she wanted a shoe deal. So yeah, she by signing with Puma, she actually became the first WNBA or NBA player to sign to sign and have a signature shoe with Puma. And yeah, that's kind of cool. And again, you can buy the shoe if you like now, if you want. Yeah. Puma also does have other WNBA players in their roster. Like if y'all remember, I believe Skylar Diggins-Smith is still with Puma. She was actually Puma's original WNBA player that signed with Puma. She was the first WNBA player to ever sign with Puma, but she does not have a signature shoe with them, but Stewie does. And again, that shoe came in 2022. She signed a multi-year deal with Puma in 2021 with a clause that guaranteed a signature shoe the following season. So she didn't just sign with Puma just because. She signed with Puma because she wanted a shoe, and in that deal, she was guaranteed a shoe. So a shoe happened. She wasn't signed with Puma originally, but she wasn't getting her own signature shoe. So she had to leave where she was and go over to Puma, and then she got her own shoe. And also the shoe looks pretty cool. Like I like the Stewies. I think there's some nice shoes. And guys, I do want to talk about another shoe that it was just released recently, and I never heard about it. It was called the Nike Air Deldon. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. I have been a huge fan of ELENA Deldon for a long time. Huge fan of hers when she played, when she was with the Chicago Sky. Stayed a fan of hers when she went to the Washington Mystics. I didn't know that ELENA Deldon had her own shoe. She did. And in 2022, she released her own shoe with Nike. It was called the Nike Air Deldon, and it was released in, again, 2022. The shoe looks fire, by the way. I really like the look of the shoe. But I can't believe I didn't know that this shoe even existed. Yeah. Did y'all know about this shoe? Let me know. Let me know if y'all heard about this shoe. ELENA said, when Nike and I were creating the Air Deldon, I wanted a shoe that was inclusive to all, a shoe for both kids and adults, some of whom struggle to get in and out of their shoes every day, like my sister. So she made the shoe, and it's a fire shoe. Like it looks really, really fire. Like the colorway is spot on. It is nice. It is very, very nice. BJ says never seen the shoe. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're very nice. Very, very nice. Honestly says, Quita, where have you been? They're fired. Yeah, I guess I've been hiding under the rock, man. I don't know. Like I didn't know. I didn't know about the shoe. I didn't. Like the shoe looks fire. It looks really, really good. Oh, Shannon Sharp wore her shoes. That's fire. That's awesome. All right, I didn't know that. All right. And let's finish off with do I have this slide? We're going to finish off with one more shoe. And we're going to talk about Sabrina Ionescu's shoe. I'm just trying to pull it up real quick. All right. And the final shoe the final shoe for the WNBA, for WNBA players, includes Sabrina Ionescu's new shoe. It was released last year. It's called the Nike Air Sabrinas. And it was released last year. It also is a really, really, really good looking shoe. Very, very good looking shoe. One thing to note is that Sabrina Ionescu has been with Nike for a good bit. She was drafted into the WNBA in 2020. And as y'all know, she played at Oregon. Oregon is the capital of Nike. If you didn't know, that's where the company is headquartered in Oregon. And so Sabrina had a really good relationship with Nike because of Oregon. And there were a lot of brands that wanted to sign Sabrina initially, but she just rocked with Nikes. And then when she graduated, she officially signed with Nike. She is the 8th woman for Nike to ever receive a signature shoe. And as you see in the design, she wanted something that was sleek and clean. And it looks fire. It also has dry fit fabric in it. Yeah, like I think it's fire. And we've seen, I believe I've seen players wear Sabrina's shoe because it looks really, really good. She said in her interview, Sabrina Ionescu said, "I want to continue to open the door for a lot of other female athletes to get signature shoes and be in this space. I am very blessed to be able to continue to do so and continuing to open the door for other generations to come." So, yeah. we have lots of shoes out there. And Sabrina IONESCU is the latest player to get a signature shoe. Now, with the news about oh my goodness, I'm lost for words. With the news about Caitlin Clark getting a signature shoe deal, she signed with Nike and getting a shoe deal after that. She will likely be the next player to get a signature shoe. And so, yeah, I did just want to talk about that and sort of give you all a history lesson about shoes in the WNBA. All right. And the reason I wanted to set up this conversation with sort of talking about the history is that I wanted to just show that there has been a huge variety of players who have had shoes in the past. And guys, there are other players with shoe deals, right? There's other players with shoe deals. I talked about Skylar Diggins-Smith earlier. You have Angel Reese, who signed with Reebok. They're players who are signed with brands, but these are this was the history of signature shoes, not the history of branded shoes, right? So yeah. So I wanted to talk about that in a way to sort of lead us to this conversation about A'ja Wilson and will she or won't she get her own signature shoe? Also, actually, this would actually be helpful as well. I'm gonna pull up a shoe on the screen because A'ja Wilson has a version of a shoe with Nike right now. It is not a A'ja Wilson signature shoe, but it is a colorway specific to her as a player. And it's a shoe that you actually can buy right now if you wanted to. So I do just want to show that real quick, so y'all can see that. And if y'all are like, I really want something A'ja Wilson, you can actually get that shoe. You can actually get that shoe. So give me a hot second. I'm gonna pull that up. All right, so here we go. Here is the Nike Women's Cosmic Unity 3. And it's a collab with A'ja Wilson. All right, so technically, it's not a signature shoe. It's not, but it is a version of a current Nike shoe that has been tailored to A'ja Wilson. All right. So yeah. So these shoes are actually pretty fire. They really are fire. But these are not signature. This is not a signature shoe. It's not a signature shoe. But I will say this, guys. I guarantee you, if people started going on these websites and buying up this shoe, while it is not a signature shoe, if people started buying this thing up and they started selling out, Nike would make a signature shoe for A'ja Wilson. Let's talk about this conversation with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is going to get a signature shoe with Caitlin Clark is going to get a signature shoe with Nike because Caitlin Clark is like the biggest deal in women's basketball for a while. Like she's a big deal and she's making some stuff happen. But it makes business sense to give Caitlin Clark a shoe deal, because you saw how they sold out lickety split when it came to Caitlin Clark's jersey. We've seen teams having to leave their current arena and go to a larger arena for the games against Indiana. We've seen the 3 games, the Final Four, the Elite 8 game, the Final 4 game, and the championship game this year, with the biggest numbers ever, games that Caitlin Clark was playing in. Caitlin Clark is a big deal, and Nike is in the business of making money. So they're smart, and they're like, hey, Caitlin Clark is everywhere, so we need to give her a shoe deal. We need to get her a shoe because we want to make money. That's the whole purpose of this thing, right? These companies are not here to make shoes because of stats and accolades. That's not what they're here to do. They are here to make shoes to make money because they want to line their pockets. That's what they want. That is what they want. And so I just have to say, guys, I think that absolutely A'ja Wilson is phenomenal. Absolutely, positively phenomenal. Like, you're not gonna hear me say anything different than that. But Nike doesn't care about A'ja Wilson's accolades. They don't care about any player's accolades. They don't. They see green. They see green. And the conversation about A'ja Wilson not having a signature shoe, it's because Nike, right or wrong, Nike believes that as of right now, it wouldn't sell. Now, there could be something in the works with Nike. We don't know. But as of right now, she doesn't have a signature shoe. The whole purpose of companies is to make money. If Nike believed that it would make a lot of money, it would be on sale right now. Now, that doesn't mean that nothing is in the works, because something might be in the works. Because A'ja Wilson said, she posted on social, what's delayed is not denied. So she still may be getting a signature shoe. It just may or may not be with Nike. I think one of the things that we as people have to be cool with and have to just ride with is, just because someone that you're with is saying no, doesn't mean you can't leave and go somewhere else. Go where you're wanted. Like, I think A'ja Wilson is phenomenal. And I do believe, honestly, I really do, that if A'ja Wilson got a shoe, I believe people would buy it. I believe people will buy it because there's a lot of South Carolina fans who would just do anything to support her. We saw how she had, how her book, best-selling author. We've seen people show up and support A'ja Wilson. I do believe it will sell. Maybe Nike doesn't believe it'll sell as much as they want to hit their sort of bottom line. And so here's what I would say. I would say that I don't know how long A'ja Wilson's deal is with Nike, but I think it would behoove some players, if you want a deal, if you want your own signature shoe, I would say that you need to go where you're wanted. I think there's an opportunity for. I don't know how long her deal is. I don't, but there's an opportunity to go where you're wanted. Stewie left because she wanted her own shoe and she wasn't getting it, so she left. She went somewhere else. And again, I don't know the specifics of the deal that she's in. Maybe she can't go anywhere else. But I'm just saying that Just going to Nike for everything, maybe that's not the look. You know, maybe you go to Reebok, maybe you go to Fila, because Nike is the biggest name in the game. So getting a signature shoe with Nike, I believe, is going to be way different than getting a signature shoe somewhere else, because Nike, because they're so much bigger, they probably have higher minimums. So they're probably like, yeah, people would buy it, but not enough for Nike's bottom line, right? But maybe Reebok would be ecstatic about that number of shoes sold, you know? I don't know. That's sort of my thought. I am rambling a little bit, but guys, that's sort of my opinion. Like, A'ja Wilson's phenomenal. I think she really is doing her thing. In terms of stats, you can't argue with it. You cannot argue with her stats. But Nike does not believe that she would sell as many shoes as they want her to. And I think you can either do a couple things. You can either stay patient and stay with Nike and maybe get a shoe, maybe never get a shoe. Or you can leave, go somewhere else, go where you're wanted, and go where they will give you a deal. In your next contract, signing a deal that says, like Stewie's deal that said, you must give me a signature shoe by the next year. So yeah, that's sort of my thoughts. But guys, ultimately, this comes down to money. Nike wants to make money. And if people today decided we're gonna buy this shoe. If people today decide they want to buy this shoe, this Nike shoe today, if they decided it, and lots of people did it, Nike would make a shoe for A'ja Wilson. They're doing what they think is the best financial decision for them. And so I don't know. I don't know what else to say beyond that, but you know, it's important to if you know, it's important to support with your dollars if that's what if you really want A'ja Wilson to have a signature shoe and you are a shoe head, right? You're a sneaker head. Buy this shoe, guys. I'm not a sneakerhead. I don't own any Nikes. I own one pair of Adidas running shoes that I haven't worn in forever, I think. And they're not even like a popular. They're like I don't even know the type of shoe it is. It's just a standard running shoe that was like $40. Like it was pretty cheap. So I'm not a sneaker person. So I'm not gonna, buy shoes because I don't really do that. But if you are a sneaker person and if you are like, hey, we need to get A'ja Wilson her own shoe, well, buy this shoe. Buy it. Yes, technically it is not her shoe, right? But it's her colorway. It has number 22 on it, So yeah. I saw a super chat somewhere. Theo, thanks so much, Theo, for the super chat. Theo says, Quita, you making all my points I was saying in the chat. Great minds think alike, Theo. Great minds think alike. Let's see. But guys, if y'all hit that like button, that'd be phenomenal. Just trying to catch up. I miss a lot of chats. DD in Tennessee says, how does the money work if a player has a collaboration shoe as opposed to a signature shoe? I am not totally sure. I'm not sure. Maybe someone else knows in the chat. Lil says, her phenomenal play doesn't matter unless it can help their bottom line. Black people spend $2 billion with Nike. If you want to support Asia, stop buying Nike products until they get her a shoe. Well, yeah, people could protest if they want. Yeah. Yeah. Richard said they don't believe it would sell. Oh, no. They don't believe it would or won't sell. It's how much it will sell. Wait, it costs a lot to put somebody name on a shoe. They have to make what the regular shoe makes and more to get a return on. Yeah. Yeah, they just don't think it'll sell like that. And they could be wrong on that. We don't quite know. But clearly they think they're making a business decision by doing that. Next to Air says she won the chip almost by herself. She took over when Gray went down and won a championship against Celebrity. She's the real deal. Facts. I mean, I wouldn't say by herself because her teammates were really good as well. But yes, Asia Wilson is the real deal. She is. Absolutely. And that's not the argument. That the argument is like talent alone is not enough. I know people have talked about marketing and like, oh, Asia Wilson's not marketable. She is. Asia Wilson is marketable. Like I don't agree with those people who are saying that at all. But I do believe that clearly Asia Wilson, Nike does not believe Asia Wilson can sell as much as they need her to sell for a signature shoe. And yeah, so I'm just saying. Didi in Tennessee says, I agree, Quita, get up and hit the door. Who wants to, hit the door of someone who wants to open it for you. Yeah. I mean, I think it's so important that people should just go where they're wanted and go where, people will make room for you and give you the things that you believe that you deserve. And that's kind of how I like kind of live life. Like guys, like, you know, I think in general, go where you're wanted, do the things, create the future that you want to have, you know. Asia Wilson's phenomenal, but Nike clearly does not believe it'll sell. They clearly don't believe the shoe will sell. So what to do? Go somewhere else. Maybe Fila, maybe Puma, maybe Reebok, you know. Maybe you make your own shoe. y'all remember the big baller brand shoes? LeVar Ball was gonna do it his own self, you know. Rightly or wrongly, you know. I think in general, instead of, I don't know. In general, you know, Nike's probably gonna continue to do what they're gonna do, and she has to make up her decision, because Asia Wilson is marketable. She is marketable. She is, absolutely. Look at her book sales. You know, look at how much fan support she has in South Carolina. She has a freaking statue, guys. Like, so people would buy it. It's just that maybe you have to go somewhere else to get it. Maybe you have to go somewhere else to get your own signature shoe. Marcus says everyone's trying to capitalize off of Clark at this moment. Yeah, and that's what Nike's doing. Of course they are. It's smart. It is absolutely smart for Nike to give Caitlyn a signature shoe, and they should get that shoe out in the next 6 months. They should get that out in the next 6 months because you need to strike while the iron is hot. I'm actually kind of surprised that she didn't get her own signature shoe while she was still in college. Because everybody's talking about Caitlyn. She's bringing in a lot of numbers, a lot of money, and Nike's gonna get that shoe out real fast so they can make millions of dollars off of it. Because that's what they're in the game to do. They're in the game to make money. They're not in the game to celebrate women's basketball. They're not in the game to uplift women or like whatever. Nike's in the game to make money. And to the extent that telling a narrative about different identity groups and all this other stuff, if that leads to them making money, that's what they're gonna do. If making a signature shoe for Caitlin Clark is gonna make them a lot of money, which it will, that's what they're gonna do. So at the end of the day, like it's a money thing. It's a money thing. Carmela says 2 things can exist. Can I talk today? 2 things can exist at the same time. Caitlyn can deserve everything she's getting, and the women who have paved the way for her to be in the game. Could have. Wait, what? And the women who have paved the way for her to be in the game could have not got their just due. Yeah. I do. I agree with that, Carmela. I agree with that. Yeah. I would love to see. I would love to see some of the ladies who have done their thing for years get a lot of attention and a lot of respect and a lot of love, because there's been some huge ballers. There's been some huge ballers for women's basketball, and a lot of them haven't gotten their just due. I completely agree with you, Carmela. Yeah, I completely agree. Marcus says people saying she, as in A'ja Wilson, isn't marketed or that people don't know her need to get it. That's absolute disrespect. Yeah, I think that there really is truly people who don't know who A'ja Wilson is. Now, if you are a fan of women's basketball, I don't know how you don't know A'ja Wilson doesn't exist. A'ja Wilson is, she's doing her thing. So there, I truly do believe that there are people who don't know who A'ja Wilson is. It's true. It's a fact. You look at A'ja Wilson's social following. You look at Angel Reese's social following. It's different, right? But even with that being said, A'ja Wilson is extremely marketable, extremely marketable. And there is a subset of people who would buy a A'ja Wilson fill in the blank. They'll buy a A'ja Wilson book. They'll buy a A'ja Wilson candle. They'll buy anything with A'ja Wilson on it. And for those folks, maybe going to a different shoe company will give you a deal and give you an opportunity to make your own shoe. And that way, those people who will rock with you regardless, they can get a shoe. So. In general, I do agree with this. I do agree with this. Lil says A'ja should move on, go where you're celebrated instead of tolerated. I think in general, I think that's a great thing to do. In general, if you believe that you should have your own shoe, which There's a lot of people who believe that. If you believe that, then you need to go and get your own shoe, because people would buy it. Like, I guarantee you, people would buy an A'ja Wilson shoe. I'm not a shoe person, so I probably wouldn't buy it. Again, I don't have any name brand shoes really. I have a Fila's Rocco's Modern Life collaboration shoe. That's my most name brand shoe that I have. Other than that, I buy barefoot shoes. I do. Because I don't play basketball no more. So I wear barefoot shoes all the time. Not name brand. No one's ever heard of the company before. But those shoes I wear. So I'm not gonna buy anybody's shoe really. And now if I get some money, and I become rich, I absolutely would. Because I would love to support that way. But I support through tickets bought. I support through jerseys bought. That's what I support through. Michael says, whoever doesn't know A'ja Wilson, who A'ja Wilson is, will know after watching the first Fever versus Aces game. You can count on it. Yeah. But guys, that's basically the stream. I mean, that's the main thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I don't wear a popular brand. I don't wear a popular brand. Let's see. Jonathan, you did hear me correctly. Yeah, you did hear me correctly. Yep, you heard me correctly. So I'm gonna find it right here. This is the exact shoe I have. This is the exact shoe I have. All right. It was funny that I don't know how I got this email, but I got an email saying that they released a special collab shoe. And this thing is $44 now. I bought it when it was $90. So I wish I would have waited. But yeah, anyway, I don't again, I'm not a shoe person, so I don't know how I got on an email list for shoe releases. And somehow I got an email about this, and normally I don't check my email, but that time I did, and it was like the headline of the email, and I was like, "Oh my god, this shoe looks fire!" And I was a huge Rocco's Modern Life fan when I was a kid, and I was like, "Actually, I got a little bit of money. Let me go buy this shoe." So I bought it. So I guess random email marketing does work. It does. It does work. It does work. But yeah, that's the I guess popular shoe I have. Let's see. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Because I am getting a bit tired. So I do just want to see if there's anything else y'all want to talk about. I wear 11. I wear size 11. Marcus says, can you believe people tried to say Asia was jealous of Caitlin Clark after those Bible scripture tweets the other night? Ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. If y'all don't know, Asia Wilson posted on X, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, something like that? She posted Psalms 37:7. It says, be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. That's what she posted on X. Be still and wait on the Lord. Yeah, I don't. I mean, that she's saying be patient. Like, you know, wait, because, you know, don't worry about when stuff is happening. When people are doing certain stuff, you know. And that's a great. First of all, Psalm 37 is a great chapter. And honestly, if y'all actually continue going on, if you actually continue that and you go to verse 8, it says, refrain from anger and turn from wrath. Do not fret; it only leads to evil. Yeah, that was the verse that she put out. For the people who were saying that is her hating, or anything like that, or specifically related to Caitlin Clark, anything like that, I think you're wild. That's not what she was doing at all. I'm just saying. Next day, Era says, we are going to educate the new fans, not shun them. We need everybody. Absolutely. We do need everybody. Absolutely. We like, and guys, I hope that this conversation doesn't come off as me sort of shunning new fans. Like, guys, that's why I wanted to sort of do that sort of history lesson about WNBA players and the shoe deals and whatnot. Because like I think it's important to just educate folks. But guys, like, yeah, this channel is this YouTube channel is all about everybody. It's not about excluding certain fans. Maybe you just became a fan yesterday. You're welcome. We're happy to have you. Maybe you've been a fan for 20 years. You're welcome here. You know, we're happy to have you. For the WNBA, for women's basketball to grow, we need everybody. That means it is not about exclusivity. It is not about who's in the in group and who's in the out group. You know, it's about us as fans of the game, growing the game together and doing it that way. So hopefully that is what I exude here, because that is what my goal is. And guys, speaking of education, I do want to drop the link to that article, that Anscape article. I do want to drop the link to that Anscape article. Y'all read that article. It's a pretty long read, but read the article. It does go over the history of signature shoes in the WNBA. So highly recommend y'all read that. Again, Anscape is a great platform. And they put out some really, really great stuff for about women's basketball. So yeah. Let's see. SCH says you can't even quote the Bible and not get called a hater. Times have changed. Yeah. But guys, she wasn't talking about Caitlyn. That was not I know y'all don't mean that in the chat, but guys, there are people who truly believe that she was talking about Caitlin Clark. She wasn't. The point was that regardless of what is happening in your life, be still and wait. You know, when stuff happens, be still and wait. Wait patiently for the Lord. You know, y'all probably heard the here, I'll drop it. I'll drop it in the comment again. I'll drop it again. It's like, do y'all remember? Do y'all remember? It's what is it? A Fred Hammond song? They made it into a song. It's what, Isaiah 40:31. They that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. And like that, I mean, that's basically what this psalm verse was kind of saying. But anyway, she's not a hater for posting scripture. I'm just saying. I agree, DD. It's always a great thing. I agree. Lil says, "Where did you get that fire hoodie?" Well, I always love shouting out awesome brands who are really, really doing their thing. Here, let me find it real quick. It's called Playa Society. If y'all are not buying Playa Society stuff, highly recommend it. I highly recommend y'all to rock with Playa Society. They actually had a collaboration with the Chicago Sky on merch. So if y'all see here, this is Chicago Sky specific. You see the Chicago WNBA champs. It shows the year that the team was formed, and on the back it has the Sky's logo. So shout out to Playa Society. They make some really great merch. Highly recommend y'all go to their website and check out their stuff. I don't believe they don't currently have the Sky hoodie that I have. They don't currently they're not selling that right now. But yeah. But yeah, guys, that is basically the stream. I'm done. I'm tired. I got a headache, so I think I'm gonna end the stream from here. But I do thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Thank y'all so much. I hope y'all have a fantastic weekend. I will talk to you all soon. Thank y'all for rocking with me for today's edition of the Awesome People of the Internet Friday Hangout. Shout out to Michael for joining at the beginning of today's stream. As always, I really do appreciate y'all so much. Thank you to the fantastic folks who are supporting this channel on Patreon. If you do want to support the channel on Patreon, you can do that by going to patreon.com/Quita Loves Sports. Appreciate y'all. Hit that like button on y'all way out. Make sure y'all are subscribed to the channel. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.